Hey everyone, before we get into the show, this is Topher on Thursday, the day after the Hangout. Wanted to give you a little bit of reason why this is marked as members only, but it's out there for the public. I'm going to lightly edit this one the way I do a lot of member videos. It's not going to look that pretty. It's going to have a lot of good stuff in it. It was supposed to be members only, but we had a YouTube fan join us, and the stuff he said at the end needed to be shared with the world. So I could not put it behind a paywall. I wanted everyone to hear his thoughts and his feelings, and it was not planned at all. But please stay tuned to the end and listen to what Jeremy has to say, because it blew my mind. Hello, members. Thank you very, very, very much for your support. Because of your support, we're going to be recording this video. And as you can see, I'm not feeling well. I'm wearing my Boba Fett shirt, a no logo shirt, no editing. We're going to try to get this in the can, get it out there for you. We're calling this 1 minute. Wow. 1 minute meteorite stories. So just a little bit of facts about a meteorite and maybe some pictures. So I've chosen who will go first, and it is me. So here we go. I will be talking about Dar el Kahar. You guys can see that, I hope?
Yes.
Okay. So Dar el Kahal is 85 kilos out of Mali. It's an H5-6, so it's not 100% super uber duper special. It's one of 143. But what's interesting about it is a little bit, just here's the history I read about it, and that's all I'm going to base my story on. The first individuals were completely covered with black fusion crust, and they were found by nomads searching for not meteorites, but historical artifacts. And this was near the former salt mines of Taudeni, northern Mali. Now, what's cool about that is this was back in 2013. Since then, we actually have Taudeni, the diagenite. So more other meteorites were found there as well. So during the systematic search, they found 85 kilos of fragments. So I wanted to share with you that it is a beautiful meteorite. Let me see here. In here, we say that there's many pieces. So it is beautiful on the outside because look at that.
Wow.
Well, that's beautiful.
That's
amazing.
Absolutely gorgeous. And the picture here are courtesy of Greg Hoope, Nature's Vault. He's calling this a cosmic shatter cone.
Yes.
What it looks like. So I think it's super interesting to see a very regmaglyphed shatter cone from the cosmos like that. And what's very interesting about this, what's really cool, is if you notice on the MEPL entry, one of the names on here was Ismaili Muhammad. And here is our friend Ismaili right here. So this is back in 2013. This is a 43 kilo piece or something like that of it. But you can't see it, but it is beautifully regmaglyphed, I'm told. But I just this is actually taken in Morocco. So I thought it was really cool to see behind the scenes pictures of the meteorite basically discovery and coming to market through our friend. And that's what I would imagine the main mass is. Here is my piece of it directly from Ismaili Muhammad.
Oh, nice.
And it has a really, really beautiful inclusion on it. It's a H5-6. So it has a bunch of stuff going on in there. Fresh fusion crust on top. But look at those inclusions.
That's
Just
really
an absolute
cool.
gorgeous meteorite. And I've actually gone over a minute. So this has been the Meteorite 2-minute story of Dar El Kahal.
Cool.
Very cool.
Thank you. All right. So the meteor that was found accidentally, I guess, while searching for artifacts. Next, Sue, did you have something that you wanted to share?
No, let's go to Art next.
Okay, Art, how are you, my man?
How are we doing? Yeah, I was asked to investigate the Casa Grande meteorite.
Yep.
And although I don't own a piece and I don't have any photos, the information was kind of interesting. It fell in the 1200s, 1300s, and a group of mountaineers were, in an area that they noticed some ruins, and they decided to investigate. And when they did, they opened an area where they had a brick tomb with mummies wrapped in cloth. But stranger than that was a meteoritic iron in lenticular shape wrapped in the clothing, the cloth, the same cloth as the mummies. So it made them believe that these people revered that meteorite. And that was quite interesting. And they wanted to buy the meteorite so they could ship it off to the Smithsonian Institute of Natural Science, and which they did.
Wow.
The actual meteorite was found in 1867, and it is the seventh most massive of the ABIans, and so that makes it kind of interesting. They described it as lenticular. The surface was pitted and eroded, but because they didn't have the diagnostic equipment to do the testing that we do today, no polarizing microscope, so on, they actually took an instrument called a slaughter that takes pieces out of metal and small pieces, and they subject it to acid, and then they neutralized the acid, washed it off, and then put it under a glass to see what they could determine might be the constituents that made up the meteorite. And yeah, so I guess they wanted to make sure that they had custody of the meteorite. They had to purchase it, and they had to get a wagon that was capable of transporting 10,000 pounds in order to move this meteorite. And so they did, and I guess they also put it on a barge or something, and it went upriver. Anyway, it made its way to the Smithsonian. But the thing about it was, in 1867, there was a Mexican exposition going on of minerals, and they wanted that meteorite to be there. And so it was,
Wow.
and this is AB3I, and I guess that falls within the inner solar system. It's a differentiated iron, and it falls into the hectahedron group there under octahedron because of the laminar width bands of the camosite and the tianite. And it has a beautiful Widmanstatten pattern. They used regular files to file down, and it wasn't difficult. They said it was like mild steel. And then they applied, acid to it to etch it to bring out the pattern, and they polished it with an emery flour. So quite a process. But I guess the Institute said that they wanted to get the meteorite so they could study the gas content in it. And, there was a lot of hot gas flying around at the time. So I don't know, but very interesting. I don't own a piece personally. I don't know if it's out there. and if it is, if it's obtainable or not. But I know when the Institute acquired the meteorite, they did not want it cut up. So, understandably. And so it resides in the Smithsonian at this moment.
Or the name of the meteorite was Casa Grande, and that's from Arizona, isn't it? Correct.
It's from Mexico, and that's Casa Grandes del Montezuma, and it's along the border of El Paso, Texas, and I guess the Rio Grande River. So
fantastic, man. You did a great job, man. You took your homework seriously and you knocked it out of the park. I really appreciate it. And the best part about this is, because you're one of my supporting members, which I totally appreciate, you'll be getting to watch this video when others won't be. So thank you, Art. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
You bet. Carl got his screen share going.
Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, this is a brief story about a New York meteorite. This was found about 60 miles from where I currently live in New York. It's called Seneca Falls, and it was found in Cayuga County. And this was found in 1850 by a farmer digging a drainage ditch. It was about a 9-pound stone. And the farmer, not realizing that it was anything other than a big, heavy hunk of metal, decided, well, let's take it home and use it in my house to help prop the screen door open on the porch. So I used it as a doorstop for a couple years. And there's an old article in an 1851 or 2 edition of a Waterloo, New York newspaper, where they have the little blurbs in the newspaper about happenings in the village. And it's kind of like the gossip column in the paper. And there was a story where the farmer's wife fell sick and called for the village doctor. The village doctor comes out to the house, checks on the wife, and makes sure she was all right. But the story goes as he was coming into the house, he tripped over the iron that was opening the door, keeping the door open. And he turned around and asked the farmer, what's this meteorite doing on your porch? And the farmer had no idea what he was talking about at all. And the doctor explained to him that, well, looks like an iron meteorite. If you'd like, I'd love to take this and have it sent in for analysis. And so the story went, and I guess it transpired that he had it sent off to the Smithsonian, where it was indeed cut apart and, analyzed and determined to be an iron meteorite. So interesting backstory to that. And this is about a 3-gram piece from that original cutting.
From Seneca Falls,
New York.
It's got a nice bullseye on it too.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, that's a bonus.
For spending a year and a half as a doorstop,
Yeah, unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. I appreciate it, man.
No worries, man.
Yeah, great story about home state meteorite for you. Let's see here. We have Sue with her hand up, but I think I need to show some media for you, right?
Yes, please. Okay, so I did something a little bit different. I did not cover a meteorite. I'm covering a doubtful meteorite or doubtful stone. So I was trying to figure out, how do I find a good meteorite story? So I was looking at a lot of Witness Falls, and there are just so many that don't have any write-ups because they're just from a long time ago. So as I was Googling and jumping around and just trying to find something interesting, I came across this website. It's called the Gallery of Natural Phenomena. And, as you can see, it says the earth, sea, sky, and beyond. And it's a record. And I think I have my years that I was looking at. I was looking at 1500s through 1700s, but they have it for like every age. And it's basically a database of how people recorded the natural phenomenon back in the day. So, what people in the 1500s thought of, a lunar event or something like that. And so if you go to the next slide, you can see these are just a few of the things that it covers, meteors, obviously, volcanoes, blizzards, late snows, water spouts. And it's funny because some of the stuff, they don't know what it is yet or why it's happening. So some of the descriptions I thought were kind of amusing. But as you can see down on the 4th line, I have falls. That's not meteorite meteor falls. That is just falls of things that people said. One was yellow mice were falling. Another one was clotted blood, and just you can't trust so much of the stuff from back then. But if you go to the next few slides are just examples. Detonating meteor, clotted blood fell. Like, yeah, I doubt that. It's the blood fell. It was related to a meteor. You can see the next one's anomalous phenomenon, globe all on fire in the afternoon for 3 days. Like, okay, what exactly does that mean? But you can see on the next slide, the third one down in Hungary, it was like 5 pieces of iron fell, sizes of human heads. I'm like, this is like Chris Monk's post the other day about things measured in capybaras. I'm like, human heads. Okay, we're not going to use feet or meters. And then the next one, I forget which one, but one of them has the Crema, and I looked it up and I didn't find it at first, but then I had to uncheck the box that I always have checked, and that's reserved for approved meteorites. And then I found out, oh, okay, well, it was not approved, but it's still an interesting story that I wanted to share. So I printed up a paper, and it's really long, so I'm not going to read from it. And I didn't have time to pull all the facts out, but I have the general story. And if you want to find it, you just Google Raphael and the Crema meteorite. And so on the next screen, we have Raphael, and obviously he's not a Ninja Turtle. He's an actual Renaissance painter.
I spent a lot of time on your slide number 1. Now I'm showing slide number 2 of the other one. So people are now reading that. Let me see here. Lava people.
Well, I'm not laughing at that, but yeah, some of the descriptions are just, and I couldn't put them on, all on there. It was crazy how many hailstorms had 100-pound pieces of hail. I'm like, okay, sure.
Before we go to Raphael, notice the 1560 France, June 2nd. Yeah, buddy. My birthday. All right, I got Raphael on the screen.
I looked a lot of them up, and I was trying to match them up, and you can't match them up to things in the Met Ball all the time, but some of them obviously do. And they have a lot of comets, but the only one that was like really solidified was like Halley's Comet. But like China, they had so many comets coming through that 200 years. I'm like, I wonder if they were really all comets or just things happening in the sky. But yeah, it's definitely worth looking at. It's a really interesting website, and I went down the rabbit hole. But here we have Raphael. Like I said, he's a Renaissance painter, and Raphael, he died around 1520, and he is, a lot of people consider him as one of the world's greatest painters. I'm partial to Van Gogh myself, but he has another distinction. He is, they say, perhaps the only artist from that time to include an astronomical event in his painting. And so he is actually depicting Crema, the doubtful meteorite, in this painting. And you can't really see it, but here, if you zoom up, you can see they actually have the meteor falling in the painting. And I just thought that is so cool. I have to share this with the group. So that's my meteorite story, Raphael and the Crema meteorite.
Beautiful. I'm talking about you, but great story too.
Oh, thank you.
You just got my channel censored. I can't have wieners on here. I gotta keep my mouse pointer right there, guys, for the entire time. Hey, we are well, I don't know if you're ready or not, but we're checking in with my buddy Stephen Amera, the only guy that I met in a hotel room.
All right, time for me to go. So here we go. All right, so I've always been interested in meteorites since I was a little kid, and I've been on the hunt ever since I moved to Cape Cod. And fortunately, in 2018, I cracked the code of finding meteorites, and I found a nice big meteorite on Cape Cod called Barnstable Meteorite now. And so this fragment that you see on the screen was the first fragment I found. It was 1,113 grams. So I found that and dared it.
Wait, look at that, man. You look so happy there.
Oh, absolutely. And then so after I found that large fragment that was 1,113 grams, you can see how big it is in my hand. I contacted Alan Rubin and showed him the pictures of the interior. Hold on, let me see if I can find it real quick for you. I know this doesn't help you, Topher, but anyways,
No,
I
this
found.
is great. Oh, there it is.
This is a slice of the type specimen that went to UCLA. But as you can see, there's tons of chondrules. I filed a little window in that original 1,113 gram slice of Barnstable that I found, and I could see those chondrules. So I contacted Alan Rubin, and he was like, "Okay, this appears as though it could be a meteorite." So he agreed to analyze a sample or take a sample of it. So as soon as I was confident that it was actually a meteorite, I went back out and I went with my Goldmaster VSAT metal detector, and I started finding a bunch of fragments. And so I started finding more and more fragments.
Loving them, man.
And you can see all the chondrules in that
Yes.
one along the space matter scale cube.
Mhm.
So the entire time I was reporting all this stuff to Alan Rubin, there is a particular piece that I believe Roberto Vargas owns, and I was using my truck key for scale. This particular piece, I'd have to show you another time, but it's shaped like a shark fin. It's beautiful.
But so many meteorites are found in Massachusetts, as this happens every week.
This is one of two meteorites ever found in Massachusetts, and somehow it ended up being the largest, and I'm forever grateful for that. Actually, this is Roberto Vargas's piece right there. This is the day I found Barnstable, Maine, Mass.
Wow.
And that's 24.4 pounds. That's on my brother's porch. And I'm sure he couldn't even believe what I was telling him when I said, "This is a meteorite, bro." There it is, 24.4 pounds.
That is awesome, dude. Wow.
Very cool.
So it can be done. You've put a lot of time and a lot of energy into doing it, and you're very dedicated to the hobby of detecting. You're a detectist.
I'm a detectorist, and primarily my detectionist hobby stemmed from me looking for meteorites. And becoming a detectorist has stemmed out because initially I was using gold prospecting machines to find this baby. And as you can see, it all fits together like puzzle pieces. But yeah, that's my story. The main mass, I found that on September 11th, 2018. That and the original 1,113 gram mass was found on August 18th, 2018. And it's the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Well, that actually is the rock that started our friendship, basically. So when our viewers, when you hear me say, like, we really do want you to find a rock, a meteor, we're rooting for you, we want it. Well, my buddy Steve's a great example, man. He's the finder of the second only meteorite from Massachusetts and the very largest, and I have one of the biggest slices of it that you can get. So thanks, Steven.
Steven, that had to be so
You're welcome.
validating. Like after you were searching for years and then you found one, and you're like, I told you I could do it. I mean, how many years were you looking for something that big?
Totally validating, because I swear I moved to Cape Cod in 2008, and that's when I just went all bananas looking at every stone while I was out landscaping, and also after work I'd be like out searching paths throughout Cape Cod, and It took 10 years. It took 10 years.
Wow.
But you did it.
Yeah.
I did it. So I mean, they're very rare, and now I know how rare they are. And I guess
And
the one saving grace is that I kind of was educating myself as to what a meteor actually looks like. And I found a stone. It was heavy. It was dark, but it had more to it than something that somebody who's new into the community might regard as being a meteorite. So yeah, it took a long time, but I'm glad it happened.
now you're in the history books, and you're literally in the book, the 50 states, 50 meteorites from 50 states or whatever. Barnstable is listed in there, and it's super freaking awesome. And there is I don't know how often we can do it or how long you'll own it. I know it's 24 pounds to lug around, but there's nothing better than taking the picture at the Meteorite Mansion with the main mass of Barnstable. So,
Oh my God,
yeah.
there's so many good pictures at the Meteorite Mansion with Barnstable.
Well, those are times for other Meteorite Minute stories. If you join us again, we'll hear more. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it, buddy.
You're welcome, brother.
We got Smiley on board.
Howdy, how's it going?
Look at his background.
All right, let's share this here.
Oh, you got that. Thank you.
No worries. I'm just going to get everybody out of the way here. There. All right. So I wanted to kind of go a little bit out of this world, so to speak, and talk about a unique meteorite called Bench Crater. I don't know how many of y'all have heard of it or not, but what's unique with this one is on November 20th of 1969, when Apollo 12 went to the moon here, and the Intrepid descent stage, you can see actually in this picture here, and you can kind of see where all the astronauts kind of went all over the place here. You can see their past and whatnot. And when they come down over to Bench Crater here, and this is actually a picture of Bench Crater from the moon, and the actual sample location called sample 12037. And when it was returned to Earth, within this friable basalt lunar sample was actually the very first meteorite discovered on another solar body outside of the Earth.
Nice.
So, to date, there's only 17 in total. So there's 2 found on the moon so far. The other one was from Apollo 15. And then so far with the rovers cruising around Mars there, we've discovered 15 so far. So, and that's using the onboard spectroscopic equipment and different kind of analyzing equipment that they have on the various rovers cruising around. But the other cool thing with the Bench Crater meteorite was it was the very first C1 ungrouped subclassification ever in the Met Bull. So there's 2 others now. There's the Flemsberg from 2019, and then there's one from Antarctica. But again, this was the very first meteorite found on another body outside of Earth, and also the very first C1 ungrouped classification. So
wow.
I couldn't even find a weight on this thing. You can see here kind of, this is the actual optical view of it, but scales 500 micrometers across here. So this fragment is very minuscule, but micrometeorite, I guess. But it's very cool because it's hitting a lot of firsts, right? So like I say, we got a total of 17 so far to date. And again, who knows, maybe with the Bueno sample just returned, maybe we'll find some micrometeorites in there too. Who knows? And we'll add to the number. But just thought I'd share this little bit of interesting tidbit facts. So
super interesting. I wonder how confident they were in their, like, you have to take multiple samples to come up with, or multiple readings to come up with the first C1 ungrouped ever from the moon. Like, there's got to be some math and some paperwork done before you really come out and say, hey guys, guess what?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
very
But yeah,
cool.
very cool.
Yeah, so cool. It's not a meteorite we can own, so that sucks. But thank
I
you very
know I
much,
don't
man.
have that one in my personal collection.
Yeah,
So
yeah. We're not allowed to have Apollo or Antarctic.
no.
But we are
Well, you
allowed to
can,
have.
but you spend a few years in jail for it.
Yeah, come see me after the show. Ben, what you got for us, my man?
Unmute. I just have a quick little tale about how archaeology has now moved into meteoritics. There was research done in the Middle East, and they were excavating a city that was like all destroyed. And it turns out that it was destroyed by an airburst, like the Tunguska event.
Mm-hmm.
It was excavated to be aged 3,600 years ago. And it was a 165-foot diameter meteor that exploded in the air, incinerating this ancient city, which they call Tal el Hammam in the valley of southern Jordan. And it approached from the southwest, exploded with a bright light that blinded everyone. The heat generated was so hot it melted bricks of the city walls. And following that, there was a shock wave that sheared off the top 40 feet of the palace and any other tall buildings. And it pretty much liquefied the residents that were exposed. Many of the people who were found in the excavations were without limbs or their skulls. The archaeologists who started excavating it in 2005 started finding evidence that things had gotten really hot really fast. The rock melted pieces that were black on all sides. There was even melted pottery. I'm not talking about broken pottery. I'm talking about melted pottery and melted metal and glass that had liquefied and spattered onto human bones. And glass melts at 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit. Iron and pottery melt at much higher temperatures. The excavators called in the International Comet Research Group in 2014, which is headed by Malcolm Lecomte. That group has 125 scientists working for it that did the research on this project. One that we all know is Ted Bunch from NAU. And they had multiple findings from this team that confirmed the cosmic airburst had happened near the city. And in a sediment layer that was that 3,600 years old, they found fractured sand grains, which they're calling shock quartz, which only form at very, very high pressures. The pressures also converted any wood or plants in this ancient city into micro diamondoids that were almost indestructible. They also found dust-like particles called spherules composed of vaporized iron and sand, which form at 2,900 degrees Fahrenheit. The sediment layer also contained platinum, iridium, and osmium, which often come from meteorites. And as another indication, the city was all fallen in one direction to the northeast.
Oh, wow.
So, kind of like the Tunguska.
Yeah, they all the
knocked
trees
down all the trees and all that. They computed the pressure that it would take and found that if you put it on a nuclear weapons scale, it would have been between 5 and 30 megatons to do that, which is 330 times greater than the Hiroshima blast. And we're talking about air temperatures of 3,600 degrees. So it was really, really unusual. But the fact that it went from archaeology into meteoritics is what is really unusual here.
Ben, remind me again, where was the location of this?
In southern Jordan, in a valley near the border there.
Awesome. Wow, fantastic.
And again, the city's name is Kahal, like Tall, El Hammam, Hammam.
Very cool. I appreciate it, man. Little history, little everything. Very cool. Well, we are going to roll the dice now. I'm just giving him a hard time. We have a new guy joining us who's watched us on Facebook or on YouTube. I mean, so Jeremy has joined us, and I'm not sure if he has a 2-minute story, but Jeremy, how are you, bud? Where are you from, man?
I'm doing well. I'm from Wichita, Kansas, and just really have enjoyed all that you guys do as a team, not just you, Topher, but everybody contributes. And I'm able to teach my kids about the universe, just through your programming. I made a comment on your Facebook page once I joined it that we likely have your channel on more than Fox or NBC at our house. So we appreciate all you do.
Wow. Thank you very much, man.
So
that is so kind.
Oh man, you guys put in the work though. That's the thing. You put in the work, and that's it's worth it. So I just wanted to show you guys a couple of pictures here. And I didn't upload anything to where you're at, but I'm going to just do it on my iPad here. Nininger was able to leave his teaching position and fully invest himself in meteorites because of the covert Kansas meteorite. It's not one that he found. It's one that a kid found. And then he realized if he could put the word out, that whole communities could bring him what he needed to be successful. So because a kid brought covert, not even a 300-gram piece of covert to him, he was able to find a lot more of it. And it enabled him to pursue what he's really passionate about. So if he was able to pursue what he was really passionate about, we're gonna look at this. This is something that you as a community, however many people are watching this, can go, and you can go to Patreon. The page looks like that. You're gonna find a creator. You're gonna type in Topher S. See, there's the Topherspin Meteorites. You're going to click on that one. It's going to take you to that page. You're going to become a member right here. Choose your membership. Okay. You choose which one you want. If you guys are out there looking for rocks, you probably want to choose that $25 a month deal where you get one rock ID a month. Everyone here could probably do one of these. But if we crowdsource what Topher's doing and we join, Topher gets to do what he likes to do in a bigger way. Pay on your phone, you just hit Apple Pay and then subscribe now. See that? Like subscribe now. All right.
You're seeing it happen live.
So
Thank
cold
you,
water.
Jeremy.
Yeah, cold water. That was a Nininger find. He found a stone and an iron. Guess what? These aren't as important as a rock that a little boy handed him and said, here you go. This is how we can do it. Within 6 months, Nininger had 140 pounds of that. It financed what he was able to do, build the most recognized collection online. I was able to take a tour of ASU, their meteorite vault. So Nininger's collection, half of it is there.
Yeah.
Man, for me to be able to show that to my 3 girls, one of them's going to go into science. That's worth $10 a month.
Wow.
So whoever is out there, you know, and look at how many subscribers there are on Patreon. Look at what you get as a value, and then just go and do it. All right.
Wow. Dude, I didn't set that up in any way,
I
man.
was
No,
about to
man,
say that we did
hey.
not make him do this.
Yeah,
I'm
good
not
stuff,
being
Jeremy.
paid off. I'm serious. I have a giant TV, and whenever you guys are doing thin sections, I can see the little bits. And I'm kind of a super fan, but you know, why not be a super fan about something you're passionate about? It might eventually turn into you knowing a rock between a meteorite and going out and making that happen. So,
Wow.
man, you might find Barnstable. Who knows? You might find the
Exactly.
Barnstable for your state. So, I mean, just look, guys, what Nininger did for meteoritics, that's what Topher's trying to do for the digital aspect of learning about meteorites. I've said enough. This is my first appearance on the show, but I'm passionate enough about it that, come on, if however many are out there, if there's 400 of you that say $10 a month, man, that gives him an income to be able to go and do this. And he does it better than anybody. I've said enough, but I'll let the crew kind
we
of
have a hard 2-minute rule on meteorite stories, so we have to cut you off for that one.
Yeah.
Can I take 2 minutes and add on to that, Jeremy? I think it's so cool that we're helping your girls out. It started for me helping my kids out as well. And I just want to say, you guys, like he said, $10 a month is nothing to help someone's kid. Think of it's your kids and my kids. That's just a handful right there. How many of those 400 Patreons or viewers out there on YouTube have kids who are doing this? If you're not helping yourself or somebody you know, you're indirectly helping one of these kids. And I just wanted to piggyback on that and say that's really powerful stuff, dude. I knew we could be friends, Jeremy.
Yeah. And we know that you know, you can pat yourself on the back a little bit more, Topher, because it's pretty awesome what you do. So
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And you know, you can make a change. You know, you joined us. I didn't really know. I thought you were actually someone else, but you joined us. Everyone's welcome to join us. I thought it was. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you not asking for a rock ID as well.
No, man. No, yeah.
Can I piggyback on something too?
Yeah.
I just want to let you guys know that Topher is not just someone who goes on Patreon asking for support. Topher actually supports creators that he follows as well. So it's something that we believe in. You know, there was someone named Lloyd Evans that Topher supported for a few years. And, you know, that was more of a personal thing, not related to meteorites. There's someone last night, he's like, we need to support this guy. He's catching criminals and, you know, he only wants $7 a month. Let's do it. You know, so Topher supports people as well as asking for support. So
thank you. Yeah. And any viewer can make a change. Like Jeremy just forced my hand. This video cannot be a members only now. It has to go out to the general public. Because of him, everyone benefits. This video has been sponsored by Jeremy. Good night, everyone.
You rock, Jeremy.
Jeremy.